This is Sucker Free Production brought to you by Sucker Free University. And in this episode, I want to talk about empowerment, and what it is to empower somebody and how important empowering people is in completing things and moving forward in life and meeting good people in life. But if you was to look up empowerment or empower rather, it says give someone the authority or power to do something or make someone stronger and more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. So for me, when you empowering somebody, like it said, like the second definition said, you giving somebody strength, confidence. You making somebody confident. You might be pointing something out in them that they might really don't see, or they might see it but don't understand their real capabilities. You know what I'm saying? Don't understand how really strong in that particular field or subject they really are, or in that particular objective they really are. You know what I'm saying? Empowerment, when you empower somebody, it could benefit you in more ways than you can believe. Sometimes you might see something in somebody and you might need to empower them because they might got their strength to do something that you necessarily don't have time to do, or you feel as though they're better than you at. And that can help your overall situation when you're trying to complete tasks. You know, anytime you're doing group activities or working with somebody, sometimes you need to empower those. All the time, actually, you need to empower those around you and build self-esteem in your immediate circle or amongst those who you're working with to uplift them and show them that they got more strength and more power and other things than what they might know, or they might be putting their attention and focus in something that, not saying that they're not strong at it, but they might be a million times more capable and more quicker to respond and learn in this other thing. So sometimes you gotta, build the person up and empower them and let them know, like, damn, bro, you know what I'm saying? I know you like to paint, but you put that sheetrock up real good. You know how to put them nails in that sheetrock real good. You do it at a timely and a safe fashion, bro. That might be another bag for you, my nigga. Passing that type of knowledge on, you feel me? And from that, they got one trade, you introduce them to another trade. Now look, now y'all working, now you introduce them to a bigger bag, which in return for you, y'all could combine and collab, and that might could turn into a business or more money. Because he might be good at painting with the sheetrock, but then you might be good at the carpentry work. You know what I'm saying? So he might, like how you introduce him to the sheetrock, you really can't paint until you do the sheetrock and taping. So he was doing the finishing work, which was painting. You let him know, like, yeah, bro, when you help me do that sheetrock, you nailed it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you realize it, but we put that up quick. You know what I mean? We did a couple layers of sanding with the spackle and everything. You did painting the next day. That was, big help. By you letting him know that, now he know, well, damn, maybe I need to get on the sheetrock hustle, because at the end of the day, I can't finish. Paint is the finish work. I can't paint unless the sheetrock up is put up properly, right? So now he doing sheetrock, but on the other end, me or you might be the carpenter. The sheetrock can't go up unless the wood is put down right and pass inspection. So me being a carpenter, he might be a painter and a sheetrock person now, but he called me, look, bro, I got a job. You know what I'm saying? They need me to put the sheetrock up, but they got a lot of the framing ain't right. The house old, the wood and the framing is old. Might need to come switch the framing out. You know what I mean? You do that, bro. You make a couple dollars. You know what I mean? Now I could go do my thing with the sheetrock. You know what I'm saying? So, one hand wash another. You know what I mean? It's like not a chain of command, but it's steps to it. Man started off as a painter. Where you working on the job with him. You need some help doing your sheetrock, because carpenter do everything. You ask the painter, because he's sitting there frustrated. Look, bro, you want to do your job. You know what I mean? If you want to hurry up and get to your job, you just need a little help. You know what I'm saying? And then in the midst of that, he figure out, like, yo, both of y'all figure out, like, man, nah, you pretty good at it. And then in return of that, me or you being a carpenter, their job applies on you doing your job. So you got to do the wood and make sure everything is put in first, so they could do the sheetrock and then go to painting. So now y'all build a little system with each other. Now y'all feeding off each other. I mean, he run across work, you know what I'm saying? He got to have wood work done. Now he calling you and vice versa. Now that turns into a business. But all that came from because you empower the person and let a person know is they got more capabilities and more strengths in what they focusing in on. You know what I mean? So that's one way empowering a person benefits you. You know what I mean? Directly, monetarily, man. And it's always good and another way it's good that empowerment comes in when it might not be directly affect you, but it's just good for the environment when you just pointing people's strengths out and uplifting them, giving spiritually uplifting them, letting them know how good they is, and it might not be at a task, but just how good they is as a person, uplifting their moral, you know what I mean, their morale, making them feel good about themselves, making the process of everyday living more pleasant for them. You know, you see them, you always got a smile on your face. You always, you know what I mean, being inquisitive, asking them questions, trying to uplift them, letting them know, you know what I'm saying? Well, damn, man, you got a good personality. You ain't never, or you were ex drug user. You ain't never thought about getting in the starting an NAA meeting online, or going to these churches, starting NAA meetings. You know, get some development in the community amongst, you know what I mean, ex-drug users, ex-alcoholics, you know what I'm saying? Empower people to want to do things, you know what I'm saying? You might see somebody, they always on your block, and they the person on the block, they always picking up trash, always cleaning up leaves, always taking everybody garbage cans out, you know what I mean? Trying to make sure the block is as clean as they, you know what I'm saying, as it is. So that's an empowerment, man. I know you're doing it for free, but you know, you can make a little business out of this, whether you get $5 a week from a person. That's something turns to nothing. Now, once you give them that courage and that state of mind, that turns into, yeah, I was doing it. Now they doing the whole community. Now they circling the block, knocking on doors, ringing bells. Hey, at $5 a week, I take your garbage out, keep the trash out. I'm just saying 5 for a number. You know, I take the garbage out, take the trash out. You empowering them. You know what I'm saying? Now you building community, and how that indirectly affects you and helps you is now you got a clean community. You know what I'm saying? Now you got somebody who come to you with appreciation. You know what I'm saying? One hand wash another. You might empower somebody right now, then years down the line, it might come back around, you know what I'm saying, full circle, you know what I'm saying? So you got to always be willing to, you know what I'm saying, always be, even if something, like I said, even if it's not benefiting you directly, you got to always be willing to give. It's good karma for you when you uplift, when you help people feel good about whatever they doing, whatever situation they in, you know what I'm saying? You got to, sometimes a person might be second guessing themselves, you know what I'm saying? This is what authority part of empowering somebody come in. You might be doing something with somebody, or you might be seeing somebody doing something, and they look confused as if they know what to do, but they're not really confident enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? And they might be doing something. I always go to construction because that's what I'm familiar with. They might be doing something as far as we're gonna go to framing. They might be framing the wall. Now, when you frame it, it's 16 center. You know what I'm saying? But a person might be getting to a corner, and they might be like, they might don't know, like, it's not 16. It might be less than 16. So they might be sitting there confused, and they know what to do, but they don't know if it's the right thing to do. So they sitting there going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So you just walk up and know what you gonna do. Put the double 2x4. I mean, do it. Empower them and let them know, like, nah. Whenever you do it, if you just ask questions, you gotta let a person know it's okay to ask questions. You know. You gotta, you know, sometimes hold the person's hand, so to speak. Let them know, like, nah, ain't nothing wrong with you asking questions. And if you do it and you think it ain't right, do it, then ask a person and you know with experience. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sometimes break the ice with people. You gotta make people comfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing about that I've noticed when it comes to empowering people, and empowerment is comfortability to do things, to sometimes to go into that unfamiliar area and do what it takes to improve. You know what I mean? That's a big thing about empowerment. It's a part of the process to improving yourself or others or situations. So you can't be scared to see somebody. You can't be scared when you playing basketball or we're gonna use basketball, and you always got the open shot. But you ain't really confident in your shot. Only way you gonna ever get confident in anything. We ain't just talking about sports, but anything in life. If you do, confidence comes from consistency. If you're not a naturally confident person, keep doing things, and eventually you get confidence. You know what I'm saying? You'll be confident at it, and that's where you empowering somebody. You tell them, go ahead, take the shot, man. Hit and miss. You just keep taking the shot. You're empowering them now, and you breaking the ice with them, so now they feel more. They're more confident. They got the power to, like, well, whether I make a break, I'm gonna take the shot, and then eventually through practice and being consistent, you're gonna start making shots. Even if you don't make them all, they're gonna start hitting for you. So sometimes you gotta let the person know. You gotta instill that confidence in them for them to be more powerful. And now and once it's like a chain reaction. It's good vibes. It's like a chain reaction. Once you show somebody and you empower and uplift one person, and they see they succeeded at it, or now they're more comfortable at it, they're more comfortable with empowering the next person. So that's what it's like. where it's indirectly affecting you in a good way. Because once you get that energy and you see you can do off of somebody giving you the faith and letting them know you could do it, and you do it and you succeed, whether it's right away or it's a consistent act that you doing something, then you eventually succeed. Once you do succeed, once you do fully succeed, you feel comfortable showing the next man and empowering the next person. Let them like, nah, bro, you could do it. I had the same problem, bro. Nah, you could do just what you do. And if you fail the first time, you just keep doing it. So now it's like a chain reaction. Those good vibes start spreading. And now you, off of one person, you putting the seed in, you empowering one person, giving them the confidence, the authority, and the strength for them to do what they need to do. And once they figure it out, now they telling other people they got the experience now. So now their energy is more into showing people that they know what they're doing. So now that turns into a teacher thing. Now they're trying to empower somebody else, and now it spreads. So now you that one person, you done started a whole web of building confidence and self-esteem to where people feel like they could show people the right way and give them their point of view and help other people succeed. So that's a way it could indirectly affect you, but it affects you in a greater way sometimes than when it could directly affect you. I mean, because now, instead of you just having good vibes and you being on the up and up, everybody around you, not saying they're a leader, but they're more confident in showing people, showing people and empowering people and letting people know their strengths. Because all our strengths not the same. You know what I'm saying? I might be a better jump shooter. You might be a better dribbler. He might be a better passer. All that come together and make a team. And when you're trying to work with people and systems, you have to empower people to pick up your energy, or you need to pick up their energy to make the thing grow, to make the situation better, the system work. Because when you're doing things, it got to be an even flow. I can't have a good vibe and be on my work and you be lacking. It's not going to work. We all got to have an even flow. Not saying everybody got to be working crazy, but it got to be a nice average flow to where it's working. And sometimes you got to uplift people. Sometimes you got to empower people. Sometimes you might be doing something with somebody and they realize, and they might want to do what you're doing because the way you're doing it, you're making it look good. And so sometimes you got to have the humility to know, to make this work, he think he could do this. This nigga can't do it. But you know what? This how you gotta be willing to. I'm gonna put you in position. You want to do this, bro? Yeah, nah, bro. I ain't with this. Like, I see. All right, look, bro. I'm gonna put you in. We gonna switch positions. Now you giving him authority. You empowering him to put himself in position to at least attempt to do what you're doing. Whether he succeed or not, you know what I mean. You showing humility for one, for not saying taking a lesser position, but for working with a person. You know what I'm saying? You showing humility and you empowering them to put them in position. All right, look, bro, I'm going to show you how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to let you just strike out. You know what I mean? I know it look easy, but only reason I'm doing like this is because I'm consistent. I'm going to show you how to do it, then I'm going to put you in position. Then eventually you'll be able to do it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now you showing, now you making the person at ease because you let them know. You know what I mean? At due time, I ain't stuck here. When it's your time to shine, now you're going to be able to move in and shine instead of you just coming. You know what I'm saying? You empowering them. Sometimes you got to show people the ropes and not deal with entitlement and not think because you know something, you don't have to pass you don't have to pass the word off. You don't got to show and prove to the next person to make them better. That's the worst thing we could do. That's that crab in the barrel mentality. The best thing we could do is empower people around us. You know what I mean? Whether it's physically in front of us or through the camera, through social media. The empowerment is one of the key components to moving forward and being successful in life and completing tasks and organizing and running systems. You got to be able to keep that flow of a good energy. You got to be willing to uplift your people. You can't be willing to withhold. You got to be willing to bring the same energy to the table. You got to be willing to pass it off, and not always verbally. Sometimes that's where the communication come in. Sometimes you gotta empower people through your actions. You gotta show a person, I mean, they could do it, or they could do it with you, or they could do what they doing better. You gotta bring that energy to the table. And sometimes that's just moving at the task. You know what I'm saying? We competitive people, especially as men. You know what I'm saying? As individuals, we competitive, men and women. Sometimes when a person see you getting at it, you know what I'm saying? They want to compete in a healthy way to stay afloat, to stay on that level, for you not to outshine them. So there's more than one ways to empowerment. You don't always have to be vocal when you're trying to uplift and empower people. Sometimes you can empower people through your actions. I get empowered mostly through watching what people do, not what they saying. It's more so watching what they doing. Like, okay, yeah, he getting it done, and enjoying the process. That's where my empowerment come, the process of doing things, seeing how things get done. That's where mine come in at. You know what I'm saying? So that's another way you can empower. Yeah, so and Another way that you can empower people is through strategies, kind of like manipulation, but good manipulation. You can strategize with people. You know what I mean? Figure out ways. Like if a person's stubborn and they don't want to try new things, but you kind of need them to do certain things to get outside. You know, you can strategically strategize ways to empower this person. Like you know, you might need. What can I say? You know, you might need a person to all right, let's say you might need a person to go. We're gonna use the work site. You might need a person to move. The machine might not be working to move the sheetrock to the 3rd floor. You might got a crew of guys. They really like lazy. They ain't really motivated. They demotivated. But you need to get that sheetrock up to that 3rd floor because when you're doing construction, everything from the top down. So now we done did the installation, all the framing. Now it's time to do the sheetrock. So you need the sheetrock to get to the 3rd floor. But you know these guys, they union guys. They know the game. They ain't really trying to do that. I mean, they holding out. So now you gotta strategically sit back and help and make a healthy calculation and a healthy way that you can manipulate these sheetrocks up to the floor by empowering these guys and you know, making the situation better for them that they'll move. So check it out. You hit them with, hey guys, I know, you know what I'm saying? I got, you know, the machine down. We got the sheetrock that need to get to the 3rd floor. And I know y'all don't want to carry it because I wouldn't want to carry it neither. But this what I could do for y'all, you know what I'm saying? You help me get this sheetrock up there, now man, we can get it up there within the next half hour, 45 minutes. Now man, get y'all extra hour at lunch, now I mean, with pay. You know what I'm saying? With pay. Now man. Or if not, lunch on me. Lunch on me at y'all choice. So now you giving guys the incentive, like, oh, okay. You gonna pay for lunch? Okay, we can play. Now I mean, now you empowering them, you motivating them, you giving that confidence to go ahead and move out and get it done. Or another way you can strategically empower people is on any job site. You might got a guy, you know what I'm saying? He kind of standoffish with you, but you're not really trying to be standoffish with him because it's a job. You're just trying to get your job done. But in order to get the job done, certain systems in play, and they got to be abide by. But this guy, he kind of arrogant, and you know he don't like to move he standoffish with another man. So you might got a female at the job, you know what I'm saying? Us as men, we're naturally nicer to women, just naturally. They more persuasive. I mean, you can get us to move faster when you send women our way. Like, look, sis, I need you to do something because you know this guy right here. He got, I don't know what's his deal, but I ain't got time for it, and I ain't here for that. So could you do me a favor, you know what I'm saying, and ask him to do such and such. I know if you do it, you know what I mean, not if you do it, but if you go talk to him, you know what I mean, you could persuade him to do it, and then it'll work out for us all. Once he do it, you get him to do his grunt of the work, it'll be an early day for us. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, go talk to him and be nice to him. You know what y'all women do. So now you strategically, indirectly using somebody, well, directly using somebody else to go empower somebody else to get something done that it may have took you longer to empower the same person. So you're using others, and you know what I mean. And it's all healthy. It's nothing bad about it because we doing productive things. But sometimes you gotta use other strategic pieces to empower people, because sometimes the message might don't stick with. That's what I'm trying to say. The message might don't stick well if I say it. So sometimes I got to put another person there, or we got to put another person or situation there to empower the person for them to see the message. Because a person might don't want to hear or might don't want to respect it coming out of my mouth or your mouth. But if you put somebody else there or a certain situation in play to where you can explain or they can explain to uplift and get the strength and the confidence to do something, it's all good. That's another way of showing empowerment, or not showing, but helping empower others without you directly sending a message. Sometimes you got to send a dagger, or not the dagger, send a message through somebody else, because like I said, the party that you trying to get through to, it's not responsive to them coming from you. So you got sometimes another place where you got to have humility and know how to swallow your pride and do what's best for the situation, and not try to be overbearing and assume if you're not listening to me, you can't get it. You can't be selfish. You gotta, when you dealing with empowerment, a lot of times you have to be selfless, because sometimes the person you trying to empower might just don't see what you see in them. So you gotta be willing to be patient, You have some humility and deal with it, and always be willing to, and always be strategic and realize you could say, you ever been in a situation in life where you telling somebody something, you keep telling them, but it ain't sticking, then somebody else tell them the same thing, and then it's registering to them? That's what I'm trying to get through with this situation. Sometimes you got to understand, people look at the messenger instead of the message. So sometimes you gotta send not your message, but you gotta send the message to a different messenger and let them put it in play for you. Now that's a double whammy. You're empowering two people. Whether that other person was empowered or not, you dropping seeds on them and giving them the confidence they might have didn't know they could have to go and empower others. So you got to always be strategic in it, and always have an open mind, and not be so prideful with certain things, and not be so selfish with your emotions, and understand that some people just don't take information well from others. Sometimes you got to know who to deal with to get that information and to get the overall objective done. That's what it's all about, getting the overall objective done. It's not about, I want you to listen to me, or you got to do what I say, or I know what I'm talking about. It ain't about that. It's about uplifting so you can get whatever you trying to get done, or help them get whatever they trying to get done. So in the overall scheme of things, it's a good situation. Because if I'm doing something on my own, and I say I got a friend or a family member doing something on their own, now I'm doing what I do, but they struggling with what they do. It's not healthy if I come to a conversation happy about what I'm doing, but you not never getting nothing done. But I could kind of see where you lacking at. I could kind of see like you might need another person on the team, or you might need to speak more in certain situations, but you don't want to hear it from me because you're dealing with pride. So you got to send somebody of not lesser, but of somebody on the same frequency as them at the time, and let them drop. Know what I mean? You drop the seed, then you let somebody else drop the same seed and let it stick. Now, when you consistency is the key to success. If a person keep hearing the same thing, it should stick. Like, oh, all right, he said it, she said it, he said it, she said it, they said it. Okay, it got to be something now. Now it's up to you to work on it. Now that's where it comes to self-awareness and having humility and understanding. Everybody can't be, they all can't be wrong. You know what I mean? You got to be aware of self and what's going on. But that's you know what I mean? That's all about, you know what I'm saying, understanding and empowerment, understanding that you're not always going to be the one to empower through your words or your actions. Sometimes you got to empower others to empower them, to help, to assist you empower the main objective. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, everybody not receptive from information from a particular person or a particular thing. Sometimes they need to get that same information from somebody else, whether it be a brother, sister, a wife, a husband. You know what I mean? Sometimes they don't want to hear it from me. A lot of times people don't want to hear it from me, but they'll hear it from the reverend or the imam or their wife or their husband, and that's cool because it's all about the message for me. I don't need you to listen to me. I just want to make you think so you can, you know what I mean, eventually start moving forward and thinking positive, and we can have all productive thoughts instead of putting so much garbage in our brains and have so much of a misunderstanding of who we are and what we're doing and what's our purpose in life. Once you get a understanding of key things, you can get a better understanding of who you are and what your real purpose is in life, not the purpose of other people that you see doing things in life that seem nice and that you want to do. You find your purpose, you can do the same thing they doing, because they may have found their purpose in executing what they doing at. All you got to do is find yours, and you can do the same thing you doing. I mean, the same thing they're doing. You just don't do it how they did it because you got your own path. But the rewards is the same. Vacations is the same. Just find your way, you know what I'm saying? And on your way, once you learn and you experience, don't be afraid to empower people and give information. And you ain't got to always make person pay. You give it out, and it'll help you in return. It'll always, once you uplift people and empower people nowadays, you building an ecosystem of strength. Instead of you being the only one, you need to have everybody up. That way, everybody communicating on a comfortability level, and you empowering everybody, and everybody got the confidence and the intellect to move forward. And we can all be each other crutches. We can all, you know what I mean, be on the same level. Instead of I'm trying to talk to you about building credit, but you keep telling me about cash. Man, cash, bro, cash is cash. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get nowhere with cash. You only can get what cash can get you. Credit can get you so many other things. But if you're not dealing with people who into financial literacy and dealing with finances, they're gonna always think cash trumps credit. So you gotta always be willing to bring people up and, like I said, empower people not just through your words but your actions. That way they can see the results of your credit. They can see like, oh nah, he really doing it with the credit. I couldn't get that with no cash. Can't buy a house with no cash. You know, you got to show people things. Some in this world, a lot of times, once you start showing people things in the beginning, and then seeing is believing for a lot of people, and that's a whole nother part of empowerment. So you got to always know who you're empowering and what's your intent with the empowerment. Are you just giving out random information? And if you are, you shouldn't really look for no results. You should just look at it like you learned something and you just passing it along. But if you're trying to empower for a particular situation, you got to understand the parties and who you're dealing with and figure out the most healthy way to empower, to uplift, to bring confidence amongst people without driving yourself crazy and always moving forward. So, yeah, that was just my little talk about empowering, empowerment. Leave your comments of what y'all think it is to empower and how important empowering people is to y'all, and what some of the strategies that y'all put in play when y'all trying to empower people, whether it's through religion, monetary reasons, personal development. What's some of y'all tactics, and how do y'all empower people in a positive way and deal with the negative things that come with empowerment? Because sometimes when you're dealing with empowerment, it comes with heavy resistance, believe it or not. Sometimes people just stuck in their ways and they refuse to change, even though they're not winning. Even though they're not winning, they refuse, they stay stuck on stupid because it's comfortable. My thing is, it's easy to be a bum. It's very easy not to be productive and not do nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. I mean, people get complacent with just the bare minimum or just getting by. Not really getting by, living off the land. I mean, so, and believe it or not, because you don't want to empower and you want to be stagnated, it affects others around you. It's bad energy. Right? It could be to your kids. Your kids, they go to school, you in the bed. They come home, you just getting out the bed. That's not showing nothing for the next generation. You got to always show that you moving and you working on something, even if you're not striking gold. If you be consistent, you're going to hit. That's the whole thing. If you keep working on something, you're going to hit. You just got to find your way and not do others, do you. You know what I'm saying? Start with self, empower yourself, and along your journey, when you experiencing things and you understanding things and you learning new things and stretching your brain out, you can always come back to the nest and empower those and make them want to go do what you're doing. Because once a person know you for being a certain way, then you come around on a whole different wave and it's clicking and it's making sense. People naturally, well, what is he doing? Who is he around? What the hell? What the fuck? That nigga is a nut. Who is he? So that's where the actions come in at. See, people see you moving different, not just talking different. That kills all words. Actions just speak way louder than words. So you could talk how you talk, but once a person see you moving different and jumping out the box and doing what they ain't doing or doing what they wish they could do or they want to do, that's empowering them in a whole nother level you don't even know. They ain't telling you, but you can see. They repeating the words that you say. They doing the actions that you do. You uplifting, you empowering them. I'm saying they ain't got to tell you, but you see it in their action. And sometimes you got to be satisfied with that. Be humble. Don't always look for the praise. Don't think you're entitled to a person giving you praise when you see them doing something that you empowered them to. Don't always look for gratification. Be happy with the result. Be happy that you see a person talking the way you talking. Be happy that you see a person trying to pursue what you was talking about and doing those things. That should be your reward. And don't be entitled looking for a reward. And don't be quick to, oh, I told him about that. Oh, this. Nah. Just smile to yourself and know that, okay, it's sticking. So that's my thing when it comes to empowerment. Let me know, like I said, what y'all consider empowerment. How do y'all empower people around y'all to be better? Because if you ain't empowering people, you're in the way. Especially if you know some things. If you know some shit and you ain't trying to uplift and empower people and everything about you is charging them motherfucker, you in the way. You in the way. You ain't gonna never, you in the way. You a con artist. It's all about each one teach one around here. So if you know some things and you ain't really, and you know it's good and it works for you, try to help others. Try to bring other people up. You know what I mean? Start your web like that. Start your ecosystem like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be selfish with the information. Spread it. Like I say, each one teach one. Empower those so other people can empower you, man. For real.